helped to start a revolution in gaming. Now, there'd been violent games before, sure, but never marketed to the same degree. And with ID's Doom following hot on its heels, well, the marketplace in the 90s suddenly seemed to become defined by violence. Now, whether or not this assessment was accurate or fair, it is undeniable that gaming companies took the opportunity to appeal to this expanding audience.
One of the most high-profile violent games was Thrill Kill. With multiple features in major magazines and advertising campaigns going in high gear, it was poised to conquer the bloodthirsty marketplace. Only it didn't. Ironically, Thrill Kill was itself killed, quietly, out of sight of the public. Today we're going to have a look at the game and why it never made it to the market. Thrill Kill was developed for the PlayStation in the late 90s by Paradox Development. The concept was a blood sport style tournament between several dead characters for the right to be brought back to life, kind of like Eternal Champions. It was billed as a fighting game but with some interesting twists. Each match starts with 4 fighters. There are no life bars, but each player has a kill meter that is filled up as they land attacks. When someone manages to fill their meter, they are immediately empowered and are able to land an instant kill on one of the other fighters. Once this has happened, the match restarts, but minus whichever character has just been murdered. This continues until there is only one character left. Each character has a unique thrill kill move when they finish off the final opponent in each match, similar to the fatalities in Mortal Kombat. All of the character designs were edgy in the most 90s way possible. The cannibal who fights with a victim's leg? Got it. The sexy librarian turned dominatrix who electrocuted herself with a cattle prod? Naturally. The imp? Not only was it ultra-violent, but the game was going to be the first 4-player fighting game for the PlayStation. The game sounds a lot more ambitious than it actually was. In reality, the majority of the developers' efforts seemingly went into the aesthetics of the game to make it as shocking and violent as possible. Everything, from the character design to the storyline to the group-up moves, reflect a game that is so desperate to appeal to a specific audience that it valued style over gameplay. Fights are muddy and hard to follow, with basic combos and awkward 3D movement that makes landing hits more a game of luck than skill. Even when there is only 2 characters left, the game still feels clunky and frustrating to play. The game is also hideously unbalanced, which is a cardinal sin for a fighting game. There are positives to the game, such as the novelty of the 4-player gameplay and the surprisingly advanced engine. But overall, it's not really the hidden gem that a lot of people hoped for. The interesting part isn't so much the game, but the way it was cancelled. Thrill Kill's publisher was originally going to be Virgin Interactive, who gave the developers creative freedom and were prepared to publish it as an adults-only game. This would be outrageous now, let alone in the 90s. They began to push the game, purchasing advertising space in magazines and sending out prototype after prototype for preview. During the game's development, Virgin Interactive was bought out by a familiar face to gamers worldwide, Electronic Arts. EA took one look at the game and knew that it was far more trouble than it was worth. Despite the game being virtually finished and only weeks from shipping, EA cancelled Thrill Kill in its entirety. They even put out a press release stating that they would not publish such a senselessly violent game. Thrill Kill still has a legacy. The engine didn't go to waste, subsequently being used in several games like X-Men Mutant Academy and the abysmal Wu-Tang Shaolin style. The developers, probably bitter about seeing their hard work go up in smoke, released all manner of prototype versions to the internet. There are also lots of old magazine prototypes floating around from collector to collector. Thrill Kill may have been cancelled, but it's still an important part of gaming history. Whether the game was any good or not is almost irrelevant.
Thanks for watching. Now, I know you're probably getting sick of hearing this, but it really helps if you like the videos and subscribe to the channel. And as always, we're still over on Twitter as well if you'd like to give us a tweet. So hop on over and check us out. See you for the next episode.